This video is to help you with creating a course in Schoology. From your Schoology page, you would press on Courses in the upper left navigation. When you arrive at the Courses page, you want to go to the far right to My Courses. From My Courses, this is where you will enter join codes to join a course, or today we're going to create a course. Press Create a Course and you'll see some options that show up on your page. The first option should show up with your building, your main building that you teach in. Your course name should be typed in with your last name, your subject, and then grade level. So if I'm teaching ELA to 9th graders, my course would look something like this. You'll see a variety of course formats, but keeping your first name at the beginning helps the students locate the teacher's last name, subject, and then the grade level, of course, of the courses to keep your information organized. You do not need a course code, and now you can set your section names. You can leave these as section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or you can have them be by bell number. If you teach the same ELA 9 class for bells 1, 2, and 3, you would name your sections accordingly. Bell 1, add section, bell 2, and then I'm going to add a third section for bell 3. You can also leave it as section 3. That is your preference because this is to help you toggle between your sections in case you ever have to link different information for different bells. You want to check this information at the top, make sure that you have your course name filled in with your last name, subject, and grade. You have labeled your sections. Again, you do not need any section codes at this time. Next, it will ask you to fill in your subject area. Choosing your subject area and now grade levels. You can also add a range. If you're teaching a class with a variety of ages, you can add a range for grades. And then now it's time to select your grading period. The grading period just gives the course the visibility and access during these times. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the list, it's going to bring you to the 2021 school year. If you're a semester course, you'll select semester 1. If you're going to have these students year-long in a year-long course, select the 2020 to 2021 grading period. You can see that below, all the others also filled in to signify that it lasts all year long. Once you've checked all these areas and you've filled in this information, go ahead and hit Create to create your course. Now that your course has been created, you can see you have a welcome message in the middle to get your course up and running by adding and organizing materials. The following videos will help you to be able to add items to your course. We just have one last step that I think is the most important for starting a course, and that is the grade setup. Let me remind you that Progress Book is our grade book where you will enter grades for students' work. This information has also been shared with parents, and you may want to reiterate this with your students that Progress Book is where they will view their grades. Because you can use Schoology for a variety of other ways, the gradebook feature can be used for you to check on student work submissions or completion levels. You can provide assignment feedback during the learning process. You can also link assignments to the course calendar with due dates. You can also use some assessments that can be used and will auto-grade for you depending on the question types. In order to use these gradebook features for learning, you must set up the grade setup item and grading categories. So I would select on grade setup. And the first thing you'll want to do is to add some categories. The very basic categories you can add would be assignments, calculated by total points, not dropping the lowest, and I can create, and assessments. If you're planning on using either of these items in your course, you can go ahead and create those two categories. If you feel you want to add additional categories to sort through assignments, you certainly can. This is the minimum you would need is to add 1 or 2 categories. You do not need to worry about weighting the categories or establishing final weights throughout the year. This is something that you take takes place for you in Progress Book when you enter actual grades. If you scroll to the bottom, there are a few things you need to select in order to help students understand that this is not going to show their accurate final grade for your course. I recommend that you hide the total points column, clicking the box. I also recommend that you hide the 3 items at the bottom for visibility. If students are seeing the total points on a grade report or at the end of a unit or end of an assessment, they may see a grade there, and if it's weighted in Progress Book and looks different, your numbers, there may be a discrepancy between your numbers. By hiding these 4 options, this will help you to not have to explain that to them, and you won't see the difference in the scores in the 2 places. Please remind students that the grade book is Progress Book, and that's where they check for their final grades. Once you've done these changes, press Save Changes, and your grade book is now set up. This is also a place where later on you can add a rubric for easy grading if you have writing assignments or assignments that come back and use a rubric, like presentations and other items. You can add other things here as well. That's more advanced training that you can get into later as the year progresses and as you have an interest in different items. Press Save Changes, and your grade setup is now complete. This just enables you to utilize some of the auto grade features and some of the feedback features that you'll see. In the actual grade book is where you'll see those when you make an assignment with a due date. It will show up in categories across the grade book. Just a quick glimpse and view. Some of you have already found out that there's also mastery grading in this Schoology suite. You can set these up by learning objectives when you link learning objectives. I just want to mention this to you. Again, this is an advanced feature that you could later on explore and have some students test some of that out with you as you're working through your Schoology courses this year. For this video, we have completed making a course, which you'll now see in your list of courses. Here's my ELA course here. And we've also done grade setup. The next videos will lead you to other items to add to your course.